Egypt groaned beneath the weight of chains. Pharaoh's fear had become law. Every Hebrew boy that is born, cast him into the Nile. Mothers wept, fathers despaired, and the river swallowed the cries of the innocent. Yet heaven was writing a different story. In a humble house of Levi, a child was born. His mother, Jochebed, looked upon his face and knew, this child is marked by God. For 3 months she hid him, heart racing at every Egyptian footstep outside. But when hiding became impossible, she did the unthinkable. She took reeds, wove a basket, sealed it with tar, and laid her baby on the waters of death, trusting the God of life. The Nile carried him gently. Its current brought the basket to the palace gardens, where Pharaoh's daughter bathed. She opened the basket, saw the crying infant, and her heart melted. She named him Moses, drawn from the water. The irony was divine. The river of death became the cradle of deliverance. Moses grew under the shadow of pyramids, clothed in linen, schooled in hieroglyphs, trained in war. Egypt called him son, prince, heir. Yet in his heart the blood of slaves ran strong. He saw his brothers bent beneath whips, their backs torn, their cries silenced by Egyptian cruelty. One day, he saw an Egyptian overseer beating a Hebrew mercilessly. Rage boiled. Looking left and right, Moses struck. One blow, and the Egyptian fell dead in the sand. The next day, 2 Hebrews quarreled. Moses intervened, but one sneered, "Who made you ruler and judge over us? Will you kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" The words pierced deeper than swords. Pharaoh heard and sought his life. The prince who dined in palaces became a fugitive, fleeing into wilderness. Moses wandered across deserts until he came to Midian. There, by a well, he defended shepherd women from raiders. Their father Jethro welcomed him. Moses married Zipporah and became a shepherd, guiding sheep instead of armies. 40 years passed. The fire of Egypt faded. The man who once wielded a sword now leaned on a staff. Yet in the silence of wilderness, God was preparing him. One day, leading his flock to Mount Horeb, Moses saw a bush ablaze with fire, yet not consumed. He turned aside. From the flames, a voice thundered, "Moses, Moses!" He answered, trembling, "Here I am." "Do not come closer. Take off your sandals, for the place you stand is holy. I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I have seen the misery of my people. I have heard their cries. I have come to deliver them. And now I send you." Moses faltered. "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" The voice roared like fire, "I will be with you." Still he protested, "What if they do not believe me? I am slow of speech." The Lord replied, "Who gave man his mouth? Go, I will help you speak." And so the shepherd became a prophet. The staff in his hand became the rod of God. Moses returned, joined by Aaron his brother. Together they stood before Pharaoh. "Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, let my people go." Pharaoh sneered. "Who is the Lord, that I should obey him? I do not know the Lord, nor will I let Israel go." Thus began the war of gods. Heaven's fire against Egypt's pride. The Nile turned to blood. Frogs swarmed into palaces. Gnats and flies tormented every home. Livestock perished. Boils broke upon flesh. Hail shattered crops. Locusts devoured what remained. Darkness thick as death smothered the land. Yet Pharaoh hardened his heart. Then came the final plague. God commanded his people, "Take a lamb without blemish, slay it. Place its blood upon your doorposts. Eat its flesh with bitter herbs and unleavened bread. Be ready, for tonight I will pass through Egypt. When I see the blood, I will pass over you." That night, a dread silence gripped the land. Midnight came, and the destroyer swept through. In every Egyptian home, the firstborn fell. From Pharaoh's son in silks to the prisoner in chains. A cry arose, louder than thunder, shaking the land of Egypt. But in the houses marked with blood, death passed by. Families huddled inside, eating in haste, staffs in hand. Their hearts pounded as screams echoed outside. But not a single Hebrew child was touched. Pharaoh summoned Moses in the night. "Rise, take your people, your flocks, your herds, and go. Be gone, and bless me also." Israel rose as one. After centuries of bondage, chains shattered in a single night. The Passover became their eternal covenant, salvation through blood, freedom through sacrifice. With unleavened bread and treasures given by Egyptians, the Hebrews marched, a sea of men, women, and children, a nation reborn. Yet Pharaoh's heart turned again. He harnessed 600 chosen chariots. His army thundered behind, dust rising like storm clouds. Israel camped by the Red Sea, mountains on either side, waves before them, death behind. The people cried, "Why bring us here to die? Better to serve Egypt than perish in the wilderness." Moses lifted his staff. "Fear not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord. The Egyptians you see today, you will see no more forever. The Lord will fight for you." Then the Lord commanded, "Lift your staff, stretch out your hand." Moses obeyed. A violent east wind tore through the waters. Waves rose like walls, towering higher and higher. A corridor of crystal stretching across the sea. The seabed turned dry. Israel stepped forward. Mothers carried children. Elders leaned on staffs. Torches flickered in the abyss. They walked between the walls of roaring water, frozen by God's hand. Fish darted in liquid glass. Leviathans stirred in silent wonder. But not a drop touched Israel. All night they passed through. Behind them, Pharaoh's army thundered into the path. Wheels jammed, horses stumbled. Terror seized the soldiers. "The Lord fights for them," they cried. At dawn, Moses stretched out his hand once more. The sea returned with fury. Chariots vanished, soldiers screamed. The pride of Egypt sank beneath the waves. Silence returned. On the far shore, Israel watched the bodies wash up on sand. And then a cry rose, a cry of triumph. Miriam took a tambourine, and the women danced, singing, "The Lord has triumphed gloriously. The horse and rider he has thrown into the sea." Moses, the child drawn from water, became the man who drew a nation through the waters. From basket to palace, from exile to prophet, from shepherd to deliverer, his life declared one truth. When God calls, no Pharaoh can stop, no sea can block, no chain can bind. The Passover revealed salvation through blood. The Red Sea revealed salvation through power. Together, they announced a God who redeems completely. The story of Moses is more than history. It is a flame in the desert, a cry in the night, a song on the shore. It whispers still. The God who delivered Israel still hears, still sees, still saves.